A couple days ago, I started studying for my end-of-year exams. However, after about an hour into this, I came up with the spectacular idea to go fishing instead. So without hesitation, I packed up some food, my fishing gear, and some warm clothes, because Twizel was literally just God's chili bin. And once everything was ready, I grabbed my keys and made my way to the canals. The drive was fine, just long and windy, listening to some songs, before I stopped off in Feeling and had myself a pie. Fuck, that's hot! After burning the roof of my mouth, I continued driving south. I can have a bit of trouble when it comes to fishing the canals. I don't catch a lot of fish and rarely any big ones. And the few times I have hooked a big fish, it's always broken off or spat the hook or something stuffed up. But I guess that just makes me more determined to get out there and to keep fishing to finally catch a big one. I arrived at one of the canals, set up my gear, and spent the next few hours drifting eggs all along the canal, unfortunately only landing a tiny salmon. I packed up all my stuff there and decided to drive down to one of the dams to flick around some lures. Now I didn't really get anything with the lures, so I decided I'd try something different and fish a fly under a float. So I went round to the other side of the canal and cast out. And as I was walking back up onto the rocks, I turned around and the float was gone. I remember wondering where the hell did it go, so I just started winding up to see if I could find it, and holy shit, that was quick! I only just cast it in the water. Another fisherman then came along and offered to net the fish for me.
Hey yo. Cheers, man.
And I ended up landing a nice little brown trout. Well, that wasn't too bad of a fish. It was a nice wee brown, nice and silver. Hooked it straight away as well, didn't even realise. Awesome. Let's keep going. I travelled further down the canal, once again drifting flies. And after landing a couple of small fish, I spent the afternoon soft baiting by the cages until it got dark, unfortunately with little success. The next day I woke up to a beautiful morning. The sun was starting to rise, there wasn't a breath of wind, and the temperature was surprisingly warm. I chucked on my boots and started the morning by drifting eggs. However, I kept on getting distracted by the sunrise. After finally ignoring the sun, I kept on fishing, and after a couple of drifts, I thought I got myself a snag, so I wound it up a bit and did a bit of a strike, and to my surprise,
There you go, fish.
It started fighting back.
I don't know how big it is. Oh, it's not bad. Not a bad one. Not a bad one.
And this wouldn't be a That Fishing Fella canal video if I didn't lose a fish.
Alright, there's a big bloody thing down here. A big pipe. I don't really want him getting in there. Never mind.
So I kept drifting, not giving up, until eventually I got another bite.
Here we go. Fish on. Fish on.
Straight away, I knew this wasn't the biggest fish, but I was happy to have finally hooked a fish and not have lost it yet.
Fuck. My foot hurts now.
After a little bit of a stumble trying to net the fish, I eventually just pulled it up onto the rocks.
What an easy net job this is going to be. There we go, finally.
And now I had caught myself a beautiful coloured rainbow, and he swam away perfectly. I drifted eggs for a little bit longer with little success, so I got in the car hoping that a new spot would produce some more fish. I got to this wee dam, and like the other day, I decided to drift flies in front of the wall.
Yep, we're on. We are on. Decent bend in my rod.
I ran around the big steel fence and down to the rocks trying to keep the line tight.
Straight away too, did not take long.
And continued winding in the fish.
Now mind you, it could be a lot bigger than I thought it was just because I was quite up high, you know. It's probably about 6 pounds would be my first guess. Sorry. Here we go. Woohoo!
Once in the net, I gave it away
I was right, 7 pounds. I think that's what I said, I'm not sure.
and held it up for the camera before finally returning it to the water. I travelled back down to the cages that afternoon to once again try soft baiting under and around them. Now normally I would bring a head torch with me so I could fish, you know, in the dark and all that sort of stuff, but I actually forgot to bring it. So when it got dark I packed up my stuff, walked to the car, had a look around, and what did I find? My head torch.
I wasn't really planning on doing a night fish because, like I said, I couldn't find my bloody torch. And then abracadabra, I found it on the back of my thing. So then I was like, oh, hell yeah, I can go night fishing now. So I've come down to just one of the canals here. There's some cages up that way. And hopefully, I catch a fish. Let's do it. This is a very flattering angle.
So armed with a rod and a dark coloured soft bait, I walked back down to the cages to start fishing again. And boy am I glad I did.
It's silver.
I had hooked up to what felt like a bloody big fish.
Yeah. I wish I got the hook up on camera, but it's hard, you know, at night because I don't want to have my light on because I'll scare the fish away. But you know, then if I'm gonna, you know, record the hook up, it's gonna be dark, isn't it? Where's it going now? Just give up, mate, come on.
I fought it for a while, it did some big runs, I'd wind it up, bring it all the way to the bank and it would just go and do some more big runs.
Oh, there he is, just in front of me. Bastard.
Until finally it calmed down.
I think it's a brown. Big brown. Oh, this might be a chance. Oh, let me turn its fucking head. Oh, no. Almost got it. Yes! Let's go! Yes! Holy shit, that is shit. Oh, it's shaking, holy shit.
And I'm sure you can see how stoked I was to have caught that fish.
It's not really going to work, but there's its head, and there's the rest of it. Oh, it's a bloody heavy fish. God damn.
And honestly, I was surprised that fish was only 18 pounds. It was so heavy, it was the heaviest trout I've ever caught at only 18 pounds, and the fact that there are fish that are 40 pound plus in the canals, I can't even begin to imagine how big those fish must be. I kept on fishing for about an hour or so, but I caught nothing, so I decided to call it a night. And yeah, then I went home the next morning, and now I'm doing this. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. That was a pretty good wee trip. Caught some nice fish. I think slowly I am getting better at fishing in the canals. I just have very bad luck, I think. Anyway, it was fun. Diesel's expensive. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.